Hi everyone, I hope you're having a good day. This is Roya from rojas.english, and today I'm going to teach you all the basic tenses in 20 minutes. So we already have uploaded another video in which we explained all the basic grammar without the tenses, but today we only focus on the tenses. So if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel and let's begin. So what are tenses? Grammar tenses refer to the state of the verb, and the state of the verb explains the time of the action. So when does an action happen? Does it happen in the present? Did it happen in the past? Or will it happen in the future? A tense tells us when the action happens. Now we have three major tenses in English. The past tense, that explains an event that occurred in the past. Present tense, that explains an event that occurs in the present. And the future tense, which explains an event that will occur in the future. The first basic tense is simple present tense. Simple present tense is used for regular activities, routines, and habits. For example, I wake up at 7 in the morning. That's a routine, my routine. I do it every day. Or we have English class on Tuesdays. That's a regular activity. That means every week on Tuesday we have English class. And Peter smokes. This is a habit. Peter's habit that he smokes. Another use of simple present tense is for facts of the world. For example, Berlin is the capital of Germany. So the verb is, which is also a to be verb, is related to simple present. Remember that for simple present, we can have to be verbs and we can have normal main verbs. Or the sun rises in the east. Rises, this is a simple present tense. And that means it's always like that. It's a fact in the world that the sun always rises in the east. Another use of simple present tense for generalizations. For example, cats like milk. I'm talking about all cats, not just a specific cat or my cat. All cats like milk, so I'm talking in general. People fall in love every day. Yeah, so that's also true because around the world there are many people and normally people fall in love every day around the world. We use simple present also for scheduled events which are gonna happen in the near future. For example, we have an exam tomorrow. Well, tomorrow is future, but it's the near future. So we use simple present for that because it is a schedule, it's a planned event. Or the train leaves at 9 p.m. tonight. When we have something in the timetable, like the time a train leaves, that's a scheduled event, and we use simple present tense for that. The last way we use simple present tense is for permanent situations. So something that goes on permanently, not just for a short time, but for a long time. My father works as a doctor, so that means my father's job is being a doctor. So he works as a doctor. That's a permanent situation. Or Harry teaches English. Harry is probably an English teacher and he teaches English. Now let's take a look at simple present form. We will start with the to be verbs. To be verbs are am, is, are for the present. I am a teacher, or maybe I am not a teacher. We are students. You are students. They are students. And if we add not to the to be verb, we make the negative form. He is a student, or he's not a student, and she is a student. But we normally cannot say it is a student because it, the pronoun it, is used for things, objects, animals, etc. So it's not really normal to say that. But if you want to use it in a sentence, remember that the to be verb is. Now for the question form, we just change the position of the verb and the subject. So am I a teacher? Are we students? Are you students? Are they students? Is he a student? Is she a student? Yeah. Now, for simple present form, we can also have main verbs. So sometimes we have to be verbs as the verb of the sentence, but sometimes we have other verbs. We have many verbs to describe different actions. Like go, come, eat, see, ride. These are verbs that describe actions. So if we put them in a sentence, we would normally use them as they are. So we don't add anything. Like I play baseball every week, or we play baseball every week. The same is true for you and they. But be careful. For he, she, and it, we need to add s to the main verb. So he plays baseball every week, and she plays baseball every week. The same is true for it. But if we want to make yes-no questions, generally for questions, we need auxiliaries. So what are auxiliaries? They are verbs that we have in a sentence that help us make negative forms or question forms. They don't necessarily have a meaning, they just show us the tense of the sentence and the tense of the verb. So when we have do and does, that means the tense of the verb is simple present tense. Do for I, we, you, and they, like do I play baseball every week? Do you play baseball every week? Etc. And does for he, she, and it. Does he play baseball every week? And we also have the short answers on the right. Yes, I do, or yes, you do, or maybe no, I don't, no, you don't. So you make a short answer by using the auxiliary. The same is true for he, she, and it. Yes, he does, or yes, she does, and no, he doesn't, and no, she doesn't. What about the negative form? Again, we need the auxiliaries. We need do and does, and then not plus the simple form of the verb. I do not play baseball, or the contracted form, I don't play baseball. We don't play baseball. They don't play baseball. And for he, she, it does. He does not play baseball. But be careful here. When we have does in the sentence, in the negative sentence, we use the verb in its simple form. So we don't say he does not plays baseball. No, we don't have s anymore because we have does. He does not play baseball, or she does not play baseball. And for WH questions, the difference is that we have a WH question word at the beginning, and then we have the auxiliary, and then the subject, and then the verb, the simple form of the verb, plus the rest of the sentence. So when do you play baseball? The answer would be a time here, for example, on Sundays. Or when does he play baseball? So we sometimes use simple present tense with adverbs of frequency. What are adverbs of frequency? Adverbs like always, like usually, like sometimes, that tell you how often something is done. For example, when I say Matt is always happy, always here means that this happens like 7 days of the week. That means every day. He is happy every day. Or usually means most of the time, like 80% of the time. Sometimes means like 40 or 30% of the time. Hardly ever means like 10% or 5% of the time. And never means 0%, so it doesn't happen. But still, never is an adverb of frequency. And we use simple present with that. So Matt is always happy. As you see here, the verb is, and adverbs of frequency normally come after the to be verb. So Matt is always happy. Or I never eat sushi. The verb in this sentence is eat. And adverb of frequency never comes before the main verb. I never eat sushi. So let's make a rule here. Adverbs of frequency are used before main verbs and after to be verbs. All right, now let's learn the second basic tense, which is present continuous tense. Present continuous tense is talking about something that is happening at the moment, right now. For example, she is waking up right now. It means now it is 7 o'clock and she is waking up. We can also use it for describing pictures. I'm looking at this picture now, and the girl is dancing in this picture. We also use it for temporary situations. So if you remember, I told you that we normally use simple present tense for permanent situations, but for temporary situations, means things that happen for a short time, we use present continuous tense. And a short time that is going on right now. For example, Alan is studying for his final exam these days. So what does it mean? Does it mean that Alan is studying exactly at the moment, exactly right now, at all times during these days? Maybe not, but he is studying these days. That means this is his temporary activity, his temporary situation these days. Let's look at a form now. So for affirmatives, we have am, is, are plus verb plus ing. So that's the form of the verb in present continuous form. I am watching series. We are watching series. You are watching series. They are watching series. Or he is watching series. She is watching series. And it is watching series. So be careful. Present continuous form has two parts of a verb. So the verb actually has two parts in this form. To be verb plus verb plus ing. Negative form, I am not watching series, or you are not watching series, or she is not, or she isn't watching series. We can also make contracted forms. For the question, again, we have to be verbs in the sentence. So we just need to change the position of the to be verb and the subject. So am I watching series? Yes, I am. Or no, I'm not. Are you watching series? Yes, we are. Or no, we aren't. Is he watching series? Yes, he is. Or no, he isn't. Now, we have two types of verbs in English. We have action verbs and non-action verbs. So what are action verbs? They're verbs that describe actions. So So whenever you use an action verb, you are doing something, actually doing something. For example, do, eat, fill, keep, listen, use. You see, in all of these verbs, we actually do something. For example, eat, the action of eating. Listen, the action of listening. And we also have non-action verbs. These verbs describe states or feelings, not actions. For example, verbs like agree, hate, hear, know, like, love, need, prefer, etc. When we use these verbs, we're not talking about actions. When I love something, I'm not doing anything actually. I just feel that way. Or when I need something, I feel it. Or maybe that's my state. When I agree with someone, I'm not doing anything. That's just my opinion. So we call them non-action verbs. Now the thing is, we can use action verbs in all tenses, simple tenses and continuous tenses. But non-action verbs cannot be used in continuous forms. So what does it mean? It means I can say, I love this food, but I cannot say, I am loving this food. Because love is a non-action verb. It's about a feeling. So I cannot use it in present continuous form. I am loving this food. This is wrong. You should always say, I love this food, even if it is right now. The third tense for today, simple past tense. Simple past tense is about a completed or a series of completed actions in the past. So maybe just one action happened before in the past and finished, or maybe a series of actions completed. For example, she woke up at 7 yesterday morning. Or I was at home last night. Was is the past form of am. So we can also have to be verbs in simple past tense, the past form of to be verbs. Now the form for to be verbs, I was or I wasn't instead of am. We were or we weren't. You were, they were students. So were instead of are, and he was or she was or it was a student. Again, was instead of is. The question form, simple. Just change the position of the to be verb and the subject. Was I a teacher? Were you students? Was she a student? Now, if we look at main verbs, we have to divide them into two groups for simple past form. We can have one group called regular verbs, which are verbs like play, listen, look, etc., that take ed to change into the past form. For example, I played baseball last week. So the past form of play is played. Simple, we just add ed. Or listen, listened, look, looked, walk, walked, talk, talked, learn, learned. So whenever we add ed to a verb to make it past form, that's a regular verb. But if the verb changes completely in the past form, we call it irregular verb. So verbs like come, go, teach, say, etc. They change completely. Come changes to came. Go, went. Teach, taught. Say, said. Speak, spoke. Sleep, slept. And we have so many irregular verbs, and all you can do is memorize their past forms. There's no other way. So I came home last night, or they came home last night, he came home last night. And be careful. The verb in the past form is always the same for all subjects. For I, we, you, they, he, she, it, the simple past form is always the same. For yes/no questions, again, we need an auxiliary. And the auxiliary for simple past is did. So, to make a question, did you play baseball last week? Yes, I did, or no, I didn't. Did he come home last night? Yes, he did. No, he didn't. Now, when we have did in the sentence, the verb doesn't need ed, and it just goes back to the original base form. So I don't say, did you played? No, did you play? Did she came? No, that's wrong. Did she come home last night? And when you make a short answer, then you need to use the auxiliary. Yes, I did. No, I didn't. Yes, we did. No, we didn't. Yes, she did. No, she didn't. So for negative form, we add not to did. And again, we need the simple form of the verb. I did not play baseball. They did not play baseball, or he did not play baseball. You can also say he didn't play baseball, which is the contracted form. And for WH questions, we only need the WH word at the beginning. So when did you play baseball? The answer would be maybe yesterday morning. When did she play baseball?
Thank you for watching our video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram, rojas.english and rojas.ielts.